Kennel clubs were created to preserve dog breeds, not to weaken them. But somewhere along the way, paperwork began to matter more than performance. Working dogs were judged by appearance, not by what they could actually do. Strength, endurance, nerve, and instinct were slowly traded for symmetry and trophies. Some of the most powerful working breeds in the world paid the price for recognition. This video exposes how kennel standards can damage real working ability. No romance, no nostalgia, just facts, consequences, and uncomfortable truths. Number 1. What Kennel Club recognition really changes. Kennel Club recognition doesn't just add a name to a registry, it changes the direction of a breed. Once standards are set, selection shifts toward uniform looks rather than real-world performance. Breeders start aiming for judges' approval instead of functional traits like stamina, nerve, and durability. Over time, genetic diversity narrows because only standard-looking dogs are bred. What was once a working population becomes a controlled, aesthetic product. Recognition brings structure, but it also brings limitations that working dogs never needed. Number 2. Function versus appearance, the first trade-off. The first real cost of kennel recognition is the shift from function to appearance. Working ability is hard to measure, but looks are easy to judge in a ring. As physical traits become fixed, natural variation that supported real work starts disappearing. Endurance, pain tolerance, and decision-making are slowly deprioritized. The breed may look impressive, but it no longer performs the job it was built for. Number 3. How show standards rewrites genetics. Show standards don't just describe a breed, they actively reshape it. When breeders select dogs to match written ideals, those traits begin to dominate the gene pool. Over time, traits linked to survival, stamina, and real-world work are bred out simply because they are not rewarded in shows. Narrow breeding choices reduce genetic diversity and amplify weaknesses. The result is a population that looks uniform on paper, but is biologically less resilient in the field. Number 4. Working instincts lost in one generation. Working instincts are not guaranteed by a breed name. They survive only through use and selection. When dogs are bred for titles instead of tasks, instinctive behaviors like guarding judgment, threat assessment, and endurance can weaken rapidly. In some lines, this loss can be seen in a single generation when parents are never tested in real working conditions. Instincts that took centuries to develop are replaced by predictability and compliance. What remains is often a dog that resembles a worker but no longer thinks like one. Number 5. The rise of show lines and the decline of performance. As show lines rise, performance is often treated as secondary or optional. Selection begins to favor symmetry, coat, and exaggerated features that stand out in a ring but offer no advantage in real work. Over time, physical durability and mental toughness decline because they are no longer required or measured. Breeding decisions drift away from function and toward visual consistency. The result is a widening gap between dogs that look powerful and dogs that can actually perform under pressure. Number 6. Why paper pedigrees don't measure ability. Paper pedigrees record ancestry, not capability. A long list of titled ancestors does not guarantee nerve strength, endurance, or real working drive. Kennel Club documents reward controlled matings, not tested performance in harsh environments. Many critical traits, like decision-making under stress or territorial judgment, are invisible on paper. When breeding relies on certificates instead of results, selection drifts away from functional excellence. True ability is proven in the field, not inherited through paperwork. Number 7. What real working breeders still protect. Real working breeders protect traits that paperwork cannot preserve. They select for stable nerves, environmental awareness, and the ability to work independently without constant human direction. Physical structure is judged by durability and efficiency, not visual symmetry. Breeding decisions are based on performance over time, not titles earned in controlled settings. Weaknesses are culled quietly instead of being justified by pedigree prestige. This approach keeps working dogs functional, even when they fall outside modern kennel definitions. Number 8. When improvement becomes damage. So-called improvement often begins with good intentions, but ends by weakening the breed's core purpose. When selection shifts toward appearance, exaggerated features are rewarded over functional balance. Traits that once ensured survival and effectiveness are labeled as flaws because they don't fit show ideals. Over time, this narrows the genetic base and amplifies structural and behavioral problems. What is marketed as refinement is often just standardization for judging convenience. The real damage appears when the dogs can no longer perform the work they were created for. Number 9. Why some breeds were stronger before recognition. Before official recognition, many working breeds were shaped almost entirely by necessity rather than fashion. Selection was based on endurance, nerve strength, decision-making, and real-world performance. Dogs that failed to work were simply not bred, regardless of how they looked. Once recognition arrived, breeding priorities often shifted toward uniformity and visual traits. This reduced functional diversity and encouraged closed gene pools. In many cases, strength declined not because the breed changed suddenly, but because the criteria for breeding quietly did. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support keeps us going. See you in the next video.